Welcome to the channel. My name is Matthias. Today we're going to talk about Devil's Reign. We're going to finish off this crossover with issues 5 and 6. Now this crossover had a pretty noticeable problem, and it was the issue of tie-ins. Probably almost every single Marvel crossover has tie-ins, but in this case they're pretty shameless with this problem of the tie-ins, because you have like big narrative holes in the story, the main story itself. So you have this problem where the central crossover, the main issues, don't explain everything that's going on, and things start to happen for seemingly no reason, but obviously it's covered in a tie-in but not explained in the main story. So the back end of this crossover gets very, very choppy on a narrative level. So we had left off with the fact that Wilson Fisk was able to remember who Daredevil was, that his secret identity was Matt Murdock, obviously. It seems he wants to capture Purple Man's kids to be able to steal their powers and add it to Purple Man's powers to strengthen his hold on the city. So what happens is Fisk's Thunderbolts are able to find the kids, they capture them. Now here we have one of those narrative holes that I was talking about, because it seems that all 5 of Purple Man's kids are captured, but a couple pages later we have one of the kids was able to escape and is under the protection of Luke Cage. So within the context of the story, I have no idea when this happened, if Luke Cage was able to rescue him from the Thunderbolts or what. So what happens is, once they're trying to extract these kids, all of our heroes that were fighting against the Kingpin during the story move in to try to rescue them. We'll find out that the Thunderbolts put up a pretty strong resistance, and especially since Rhino had defected in the previous issues, now the new strong guy on the team is the Abomination, which I have no idea how he came back from the dead. Because during this time, the Immortal Hulk run was still going strong, and there's no mention of the OG Abomination in that story. Now, that aside, going back to Kingpin, he has grown tired of dealing with Otto Octavius and now has decided to dispose of him. So the Kingpin decides to use Purple Man's powers on Superior Hulk, who sets out to clobber Otto Octavius. And we see this battle start, and then a couple of pages later, they're not battling anymore. We have zero explanation how Otto Octavius was able to break Purple Man's hold on Superior Hulk. So what happens with Kingpin is that he basically just sends out the Purple Man loose on the world. It seems that he doesn't want to deal with the situation anymore of being the mayor of New York City. His orders to Purple Man are just kill all the heroes, cause chaos and destruction. So we have like this 4-way battle between our heroes, Kingpin's forces, Purple Man's forces, and the Superior 4. So while all this is going down, Kingpin is able to find who he thinks is Matt Murdock, where I discovered in the story that I had no idea that Daredevil had a identical twin, but it's very vaguely referenced that he maybe not be real. There is no editor's note in this issue, so I don't know what's the deal with this guy. But the thing is that Kingpin is pretty unhinged at this moment. He's sort of like almost out of character, but he beats Daredevil to death. And after doing this, basically Kingpin's plan is to go with his wife, Typhoid Mary, and just disappear off the face of the earth. The guy seems to be content with the fact that he has killed his arch nemesis. So what happens is, he's trying to escape, and he's completely surprised by the fact that 2 Daredevils stop his escape vehicle. And what happens is, the female Daredevil, who was Elektra during this time, goes up against Typhoid Mary, while Daredevil goes toe-to-toe against Wilson Fisk. And Fisk is totally losing it over the fact that he thought he had killed Daredevil in the first place. And obviously what happens is the OG Daredevil beats the living snot out of Kingpin. We totally get the very predictable moment where Daredevil is about to kill Kingpin and Elektra stops him. While all this is going down, we have like this final showdown between Luke Cage and Purple Man. Actually, it's not Luke Cage. Luke Cage is actually trying to help Purple Man's kid defeat Purple Man. So he's able to defeat his father because the story needed that to happen. Even Ben Reilly's Spider-Man is able to give some payback against Taskmaster, who had clobbered Ben Reilly's Spider-Man earlier in this crossover. So the thing is that our heroes are victorious, but Wilson Fisk was able to escape. And we get this moment where Kingpin was actually rescued by this couple. They were like kingmakers that were established earlier in this crossover, the Strumwinds. And they're like, okay, Kingpin, you got defeated this time, but we're going to prop you up and we're going to make you the president of the United States. And this part of the story I really like because obviously Wilson Fisk does not want to be under the orders of anyone. He basically flips his shit and brutally murders both of them. Then we get the whole situation with Luke Cage that out of nowhere, he's the new mayor of New York City. I'm not sure if there was like a specific tie-in to this, but we never get to see him campaign or see the vote or anything like that. It just happens. And again, we have like the situation that we already had during the Dark Reign or after the Dark Reign. Because as the mayor of the city, Luke Cage has to deal with the fact that his police force is sort of still loyal to the Kingpin. Just like what happened at the beginning of the Heroic Age, where S.H.I.E.L.D. or factions of S.H.I.E.L.D. were still loyal to Norman Osborn. And some other stuff happens too, but I don't feel like talking about this crossover anymore. So we're going to leave this video here. Hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Bye.